Excellent. Thank you, Paul. And thank you, Roman, for inviting me to be here today. And thank all of you for allowing me to be a part of your program this afternoon. It's an honor for me to be here in front of all of you. I'm here to talk about building a book of business. In my world, building $1 million book of business is excellent. It's hitting the ball out of the park. In your world, I understand that having insurance premiums in excess of $200,000 is outstanding. I understand that having a $500,000. Acknowledge to all of you is that building a book of business is hard. Is there anybody in this room that thinks it's easy? Raise your hand. It's hard. Even if it comes naturally to you, it takes a lot of effort. And when I sat down to write this book, I started thinking about what are the things that I've done in my life, and how have I behaved, and how have I acted, and how have I conducted myself that led me to achieve the kind of book of business that I now have. And so I came up with 7 principles of success that they're a mindset. They're an attitude about how you approach life. It's about the climb, right? It's the first principle. What's important to remember is having the mindset or the perspective of somebody who's willing to do what it takes to put in the time to be successful. It is a way of life. And we're going to come back to that and repeat it as a theme throughout this presentation. Look, you all went to college, or most of you went to college. You've all passed exams. You've passed exams to be able to engage in the profession that you're here, that you're doing right now. And so you have a track record of success, right? You've set some goals and have accomplished some things. Well, now it's time to put those attitudes and approach to success that you've demonstrated so far on warp speed. And you need to sort of hunker down and get in the mindset of, okay, this is going to be work. What I have done is created a life where my social life and my professional life are so intertwined. They're so blurred. I don't know where one stops and where one ends. Every dinner that my wife and I go out on are with referral sources, clients, potential clients, employees, and it's. I don't look at it as work. I look at it as fun. It's what I do. It's how I've built a book of business, but it's also how I've enjoyed this journey that I've been on along the way. And so remember at the beginning when I said this is kind of like a mindset, right? It becomes your personality where you blur your professional life and your personal life together into becoming who you are. That's really how you get to an above average book of business. The last segment is care and feeding of clients. I can wrap this up pretty quickly. We covered a couple of these things already, so we're coming full circle. Remember what I said, what Justice Brickley told me? If everybody would just say what they're going to do and then do what they say, the whole world would be a lot better off. That's called managing expectations. When you manage expectations of clients or prospects or in your relationships, it gives you credibility. Don't promise something that you can't fulfill, right? Don't feel pressured into making a promise that you're not going to be able to keep. Remember the 24-hour rule. I didn't say this before, but I'll put a cap on it by saying, whoever returns the call the fastest gets the business. I've seen it happen over the last 17 years, every week. This has evolved over the last 5 years or so as we've become what I call an experience-based society, an experience. How do you provide your customer with experience? Who's ever been to Starbucks? That's not just buying a cup of coffee. That's like an experience going into a Starbucks. Or the Lexus dealer. You ever been to a Lexus dealership? You can get your nails done. You can get a biscotti. You can get a fancy cup of coffee. Your kids can play in the toy room while you're doing what? Getting your oil changed? Come on. That's great value. That's an experience. And so in your practice, you need to think about how you can provide your clients with an experience. Don't fight it, folks, because you will lose. You need to embrace that because that's where the world is. And you provide an experience to your clients by making it personal.